In this video, we're going to show you how to install the active shutter grille on your Nissan Murano located behind the front bumper. I want to go ahead and remove this upper cover here. We're going to use our trim tool, pop out the center of the button, and then pull out the base. Lift up that cover and set it aside. Now that we have the upper cover removed, we're going to use our trim tool here and pop out the buttons along the top of the bumper. We have the two center ones, and then we have two outer ones here, one here, and then one on the driver's side. Go ahead and set those aside. Want to go disconnect our expansion tank hose here. You might lose a little bit of coolant from here. So if you want to, you can put some towels underneath the vehicle. Pull it out of the little retainer. I'm just going to tuck this aside for now. Disconnect this sensor here in the middle. It's going to be a little push tab right here. Normally you can push down with your finger and separate that. I like to use my little pocket screwdriver, little flathead, separate that. Now we'll go ahead and remove these two plastic covers right here. There's going to be a few plastic push pins just like on the upper cover. Pop out the center. There's one right here. One right here. And then we have three over here on the passenger side. Take care of those as well. Same location, just opposite side. Now that we have these two panels loose, let's go ahead and separate our hood release cable here. There's a little ball end here. I'm going to bring this over, separate that. Now that we have the ball end released there, we can use our pliers just to pinch on the little tabs right here and pull this through. Pull that cable off to the side. Pull up our trays. Tuck that off to the side. Now there are two plastic hidden push pins. You're going to pull the grill up, locate your horns. There's one on the driver's side, one on the passenger side. And right down in here is going to be a hidden plastic push pin. You can use your trim tool, get in there, pop that up and out. All right, pop that out and repeat for the driver's side. Now with the vehicle raised and supported, you would normally have a splash shield in the center section here. You need to go ahead, loosen and remove that. Ours is missing, but it's normally held in by some screws and some plastic push pins. Once you remove that center section, the front section here is part of the fender liner. It comes around and it secures to the bottom lip. We're going to go ahead and use our Torx bit. This here is going to be a T20 Torx bit. And we have two of these here to loosen and remove. Now you're going to repeat this process for the passenger side as well. If you follow this around, you might find a couple of plastic push pins also securing the fender liner to the bumper. You need to use your trim tool. Go ahead and pop those out. Our vehicle is kind of crumbling apart here. May have been an accident before, so some things aren't secured or attached the way they should be. Some plastic pins might be broken, so be prepared to source some replacement ones. Looks like our fender liner is separated from the bottom. Now go ahead and repeat this for the passenger side. Now on the edge of the bumper here, we have this textured molding. This needs to come off. We're going to use our trim tool right on the front section here. There's a button similar to the other ones that we had already removed. Pop that out. I'm going to grab this here, and you can see a whole bunch of sand falling out of ours, and just pull this out, separating it from the edge of the bumper itself. I'm going to repeat this process for the passenger side. With this trim piece popped out, we're going to use our T25 Torx bit right here on this screw. I'm going to loosen and remove this. I'm going to repeat this process for the passenger side. Now that we have our pins out, we'll just pull this out a little bit further. All right, slide that forward and set it aside. Right over here from underneath on the driver's side, you're gonna find the electrical connector. Just gonna push this little air diverter out of the way. It's gonna be a little pinch tab over there. You wanna pinch and pull this harness off, like so. Now on the driver's side, follow the electrical harness up, and the bracket itself for the unit, the bolt goes from the front inward, so it's right behind this bracket here. I'm gonna use a shallow 1/4 inch 10mm socket and my 1/4 inch ratchet to loosen and remove this bolt. Okay, go ahead and remove that bolt. Here it is there. Now on your vehicle, you may have 2 plastic push pins right here holding the lower section. Ours are missing. We only have our 2 10mm bolts holding it in place. We have the driver's side and then the passenger side. Go ahead and remove those 2 plastic push pins if you do have them, and then we're gonna go ahead and loosen and remove our 10mm bolt from the passenger side. Now it's fairly simple to get to. We're gonna use our shallow 10mm socket on our ratchet, and we're gonna get that up in there. Loosen and remove this bolt. All right, pull that bolt out. Now this here, I don't know if you caught that, when I unbolted it, I lifted up to lift it up over this tab. It actually hangs on the passenger side. So when you install it, you can hang on this, install the driver's side bolt, and then come back and install the passenger side bolt. Now let's feed our new part up into place. Let's hang it on that tab. And push this up into position. Now the best way to make sure that your bolts are gonna line up, make sure that the 2 holes here for your plastic replacement pins are gonna line up, and then get that bolt in there. It might help you out if the bolt isn't lined up. I'm gonna spin this in by hand as far as I can. I can actually get that in pretty far. And then I'm gonna go ahead and get the bolt started on the passenger side. All right, we have them both started. Let's go ahead and snug them down. All right, so once that bottoms out, just give it a little bit more. You don't have to over tighten it, you'll end up cracking the plastic. So once it bottoms out, just give it a little more to make it snug. Gonna do the same over here. Now we went ahead and we sourced a couple of plastic push pins. We're gonna go ahead and get those installed next. Grab our electro connector, line that up, and push that up and on. Push it on, you're gonna hear it and feel it snap into place. Let's go ahead and bring our bumper up and in. Now in doing this here, it may be beneficial to have someone help you with this here so you don't scratch the paint on your vehicle. But if you position it just right, you should be able to bring the bumper up. And what we want to do is line this up with our headlamp. And line this up and just bop that in like that. We're going to go ahead and do the same on the other side. Now with the bumper installed, we're going to install the two plastic pins that are the hardest ones to do. They're down on the inside where the grill meets the bumper. I'm going to use my needle nose pliers, have the center of the button lifted up. I'm going to feed it in with my pliers. Get that in a position, and then I'm going to use my extension here to reach down and press that button in. Okay, that one's installed. I'm going to go ahead and do the same on the driver's side. Now after you have those two plastic push pins in, right along the top here, on your particular vehicle, you may have two little retainers, metal retainers, that lock the grill into place. They snap into place, one on each side. Our vehicle was in an accident before, and those were actually missing, so we do have to source some replacement ones for that. But if you have those there, go ahead and just press that grill in, lock it into place, and then we'll go ahead and start to pop in a couple of these plastic push pin retainers. Get one of our buttons in here. Once we have them in place, let's go ahead and do the same on the driver's side. Let's go ahead and install our screw here, holding the lower edge of that bumper, and that's that Torx bit screw. Snug that down. We'll go ahead and line this up. Don't want to snap this in. Once we have that set up there, we want to go ahead and get our push pin lined up, popped in. Once you get that button in, you want to go ahead and repeat this process for the other side. Now you want to go ahead and install the forward lower portion of our splash shield here. This is part of the fender liner. Now anything we do on this side here, you want to repeat for the passenger side as well. Snug that down. You're probably going to have another plastic push pin that goes over here. It's supposed to go into the fender liner there. Push that up and in. Push that up and in. Repeat this process for the driver's side. And don't forget, after you do this here, get that center splash shield installed on the front lower section. Let's bring our panel over. Get our panel in place here. Go ahead and connect my connector here. Let's bring our cable end around. I'm going to take the ball end here and put it into the latch, and then bring this back and insert. Lock that into place. Now we can go ahead and install all of our plastic push pins. Press our hose on here, and then pop our hose into the retainer right there. All right, let's install our upper cover here. Lining everything up, and we'll just go ahead and get our plastic push pins installed. And just do this all the way around the perimeter.
When only the best will do, demand TRQ. The only company that lets you view before you do. TRQ is committed to offering the highest quality aftermarket auto parts that are engineered for peace of mind. Thanks for using and viewing with TRQ.